Moving around a lot can be detrimental to a young child's social and physical development. After being the new kid um, all my life, I can definitely contest to it that it takes a toll. Um, when my dad finally decided to retire from the active military lifestyle and settle down someplace, I was so ecstatic to call Byron, Illinois my home. With a population of a little over 3,500, it was the perfect small town to settle down in. My name is Brooke Bishop, and I wish to tell you a little bit about my experience from growing up in a small town and how they compare to when I transitioned life to a big city. Having grown up in a small town, I must say it's a big part of who I am, and especially a lot of the morals and upstandings that I withhold myself to. One of the major things that kind of you think about that kind of gets put on the back burner is your work environment in a small town. In Byron, I worked at a small locally owned restaurant called Sunrise. It was a mom and pop shop. I was a waitress. I knew the owners, their families. I knew that they all came in on Sundays and had breakfast. That's kind of like what a small town is. I could tell when I saw Billy walking in that he had a Pepsi to drink and that he always got clam chowder soup and a side of toast. Those are the kind of things that you don't really see as much when you live in a big city. You don't get those one-on-one, you don't get the relationships, you don't get to know them. You don't get to know them on a personal level. In a big city, since I have recently moved to Hawaii, I have realized that you don't get that. There aren't a lot of mom and pop shops. It's mostly big corporate franchise places like Buffalo Wild Wings, Ruby Tuesdays, places like that. So while you're an employee there, you're not really a person. You're more of a number, an hourly wage, such and such. You're not a person with a name and feelings. You're basically just a number. As well as to kind of go into that, you don't really get those relationships that you get when you work in a small town. I can count the people on my hand that I know that come into the place that I work on a regular basis. Back home, I'd have hundreds of people that I knew, but here it's very limited. It's a big tourist place, so you see new faces every single day. You don't get the chance to make those relationships that you usually would. Another thing that makes me just love my small town is the fact that everyone knows everyone gets into everyone's business. For example, a few years ago, I was in a really bad car accident. I actually passed out and was unable to call 911. The local flower shop guy and the delivery driver and the person who was also driving with him actually stopped because my vehicle was blocking the entire road. He actually stopped and conducted traffic for me. The other fellow that was with him then got out of the car, checked on me to make sure I was okay, woke me up, and was able to get a hold of my parents and call 911 for me. You definitely would not get that here in Hawaii. You wouldn't get that kind of one-on-one and know who it is relationship like that. You wouldn't get that like you would in a small town. So that is huge for me, knowing that I was able to be taken care of and I wasn't just another Jane Doe in a hospital, and that my family knew what happened to me and that I was all right, was huge for me. I absolutely love that about living in a small town. As well as in a small town, everyone's family. You may not like someone may not like you, but you're still family. You know everyone. For example, my graduating class for high school was 140 people. I knew every single person inside and out. I knew all their drama, their boyfriends, their ex-boyfriends, their best friends, what sports they played. That's kind of just what comes with being in a small town. You know everything about everyone. I can definitely say that differs from living here in Hawaii. You don't get that. When you walk down Kailua Street, you will more than likely never see that person again. It is filled with tourists. There are tons of people that you will never see again. And that's just kind of the difference between living in a small town and a big city. You get that irregularity. You just don't know. My buddy is actually from Detroit, and he said his graduating class was in the thousands. He had about 2,500 in his graduating class. He honestly said that when he walked in graduation, he didn't know half the people he walked with. It was kind of like us seeing everyone for the first time when he walked in graduation. when I walked in graduation, I knew everyone. That's kind of why living in a small town was important to me. You know, it really took moving away to a big city to understand how important living in a small town and growing up in a small town was to me. All in all, in my experiences, growing up in a small town has molded and shaped me into the person that I am today. I am constantly learning and growing from the relationships, experiences, and work ethics that I have learned from my time in my small town. It has taken me moving 5,000 miles away to an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean to realize that where home for me is in Byron, Illinois. I would like for my kids one day to grow up with the same morals and ethics and have the same types of learning experiences and getting that familiarity with all of the people that I was given. I definitely know for a fact that I will be having my family and my family's families growing up in a small town. Thank you.